folks have a wonderful day. Take care. Goodbye.
Thank you, John. Let's see. There it is. John Leckrone. My new favorite channel on YouTube. He talks about, oh gee, the whole thing is about language, so I'm not even gonna say it right, because if I say it's about personal rights, that's probably the wrong thing, because in legally as a person is a corporate entity, so we're not people. Maybe it's human rights, I don't know. But it's not something that you're gonna learn anywhere else. And a lot of these channels that deal with rights and the legal system, they're they're not going to give you the full picture, because they have a process that they're selling. It's like paperwork that you file, to become a sovereign citizen or a free man on the land or something like that. So a lot of these videos online, they're going to give you a little. They'll tell you what's wrong with the system, but they won't tell you what to do. And I think that's kind of what John Leckrone is doing. Although I like that he's just a person in front of the camera, and he's giving some really good insight, and he's really telling the truth. The video I was just watching is he was talking about how the COVID scam is about bringing in the UBI, Universal Basic Income, and the Great Reset. So they're crashing the economies worldwide to get basically all the economies on the level. So like a dollar here will be worth a dollar in Guam, will be worth a dollar, or whatever the universal you know uh, monetary system is, whatever. I I'm so dumb about this stuff. I used to be a smart kid. I tested off the chart when I was in kindergarten or third grade. When they first did the IQ test, I got a 151, but that was as high as the test went. So I was really smart, but then I got into television and video games, and I think I'm still smart, but my attention span really was ruined by sugar and, TV and stuff like that. So I can understand a lot, but I can really only focus on certain things. So I think I'm going to go far in martial arts and, branding, if I can keep it on a level of like ABC, comic book dialogue, boom, pow. Anyway, the legal system, apparently, if you go back in time, is ecclesiastical in origin, meaning it's a spiritual. It's supposed to be a spiritual institution. Like all the laws, they come from God, a way that we're supposed to live and teach each other how to live, write things down so that people can learn about that. What's up, Al? So I told you yesterday, Al, that I'm going to be on every day, so I'm doing that right now. And I have to go to the gym in a little while to clean up and then work out with my Sunday student. And I'm going to be busy tonight, so I'm doing the broadcast now. Gonna focus my videos on health and martial arts analysis, because that's my wheelhouse. Apparently, I'm not allowed to film at the gym anymore because the owner is worried that other people are going to report us. Although, if I'm following, the the New York State mandate. I don't see what the problem is, but I just am gonna, for just maybe 2 weeks or so, not film at the gym, just to let the dust settle somewhat. As far as strategy goes, I have to pick my battles, and I have things worked out at that gym where I don't get paid, but I also don't have to kick back to the gym. So when I clean, I'm cleaning so that I'm not rolling around in other people's gunk. I teach class there for free because I care about the students, and um, I care about the gym, and it's just a situation that I've always had in every gym that I've been at. I don't get paid for teaching group class, but then I don't have to kick back to the gym, which is normally 30% for private lessons. John, we're trying to do that 2 o'clock every Friday. That's what we're trying to do, bro. John's asking about Hospital Gate. That's my weekly show with Sir Richard Doyle. I did want to talk about that because he didn't want me to talk about being his healthcare proxy, because he was like, well, I don't want people to think that I'm, you know, not able to take care of myself. And I can understand that. I used to not like my girlfriends to call me baby because it triggered me to think that I'm not enough of a man. Like, I can't provide for my kids right now by choice or by circumstance. I don't make enough money, and they have a mom who makes a lot of money, and she's got a man who makes a lot of money. So though they're providing for my kids, and I'm a man child. I'm living in my dad's basement. I'm not paying anything, and I'm 40 years old, and I make no money, and I didn't like my girlfriends to call me baby because it made me think about that, like I'm a baby basically. So I can see where Sir Doyle doesn't want people to think that he can't take care of himself. I'm his healthcare proxy though, and he asked me to do that because he trusted me to do things totally, completely all natural. I don't do any drugs at all. Not aspirin, not antibiotics. I don't even do weed anymore. I don't even do coffee anymore. I do tea, and I'm drinking a chocolate right now. So I made this right here. I'll just flip the camera around to show you my ingredients for chocolate. Here we got this honey. It's in the orange blossom container, but this was from another container that I poured in, and this was a donation from um, Hawaii Surfer Tommy. Thank you so much. Is it Tommy? I think so. Yeah, my man. And then so all I do is I put a couple of tablespoons of this with the hot water, and I did that today because I'm really, not really, but I'm kind of hungry. I stopped eating as of last night. I had the meal with my sons, kinda. I guess I can mention it because it pissed me off that my mother, she's not healthy anymore. I don't know if she ever was, but she gave pizza to my kids last night, and I'm under her as a supervisor, a court-ordered supervisor. So I just got to deal with the situation I got myself in. But I've been getting into fasting, like strict fasting. So I did nutritional fasting for a long time, since 2005. And the word fast means to abstain. So nutritional fasting is what Dr. David Jubb calls his program, which is a life food certified menu in combination with liver flushing, Once the liver is all cleaned out, then there's intestinal cleansing and parasite flushing, and then I'm like in that area of intestinal cleansing because I have what I believe to be a situation where there's like a wound. There's like an open wound of my intestine where, if you could just imagine like a muscle that was never able to rest, over time it breaks down. So I believe I have the ileocecal valve, which is where the small intestine connects to the large intestine. It's a sphincter, so it's supposed to be like this. But then from my whole life till now, never resting, always having food in there, that muscle, I believe, deteriorated, and I ended up with something that people will call a leaky gut, which is kind of like, if you could imagine, if you've ever had athlete's foot, or if you ever had like really dry skin where it starts to crack. So in order for me to heal that, and at the same time get an 8 pack, I started to get into strict fasting, which is really only tea and honey or water, in combination with the herbs that I take for working out, which is yohimbe and tribulus. So over the next few weeks, all I'm going to be doing is this. I'm probably not going to be doing this anymore, but I have tea bags here. This I might take just to poop everything that I ate out this weekend, because I want to be start off empty. I like just to be empty, because I feel like if there's stuff in my gut while I'm training, it's causing pressure, and when I'm rolling or sparring, it's not a predetermined set of moves, so there's more risk of injury. So I just like to be completely empty as I can. In this bottle is yohimbe and tribulus. I take a quarter to a half of a teaspoon before working out. So this is what I got left. This is what I scoop out with this little spoon down here into a tea or something, and I take that when I work out. One more thing, I want to thank you, Thomas, for sending me the macadamia nuts. So I 2 times in the past month I started fasting and I broke my fast. The last time I did it was on those macadamia nuts. I did eat them, and boy are they delicious. But it's same story as always. I always feel better when I'm fasting. It's that hunger that drives me to get things done, and that's really what's gonna make me happy. So when I eat, the energy that it takes to digest, and then also the congestion of having the material in my gut, it affects me. It makes me low energy, which translates to depression. And that's the situation that I got going on. So, um, my whole life, I was raised until 2005 on grains and dairy. Being from an Italian American vegetarian household, we had a lot of pasta, we had a lot of pizza. It created a condition in my gut, the brain of the gut, which uh, manifested in something called schizophreniform, which was triggered by stress, extreme stress of mild traumatic brain injury in combination with uh, legal battery of the family court system. So in 2013, I was in jail for 8 days for running from the cops, and I had to see a psychiatrist for yelling, at my ex-wife and the judge, because I didn't know anything about what was going on in the court system, and as as a person who makes mistakes, and who didn't really have any outlet, I didn't know what to do, so I basically was crying out for help. And it wasn't in a social way, it was kind of like erratic or whatever. And so they didn't say I was schizophrenic, they said it was schizophreniform, which was the initial diagnosis that I got, which means like, oh, it's kind of like borderline weirdo behavior. That's what they were saying to me, because I was complaining about uh, my kids being fed junk food. And if you go to a psychiatrist, you can get prescribed things like Adderall, you know, um, Xanax, maybe. I don't know. Whatever they prescribe, they're chemical drugs, but they're not going to teach you anything about nutrition. So for me, talking about health food to a psychiatrist really was barking up the wrong tree, and it ended up causing me more trouble than it was worth. I know you may have heard this story already, so I'm just gonna skip forward, and I'm gonna talk about schizophrenia because I don't want my friend Richard, to feel bad about being diagnosed with some kind of condition, because I understand that it's related to the brain chemistry, and when I'm talking about brain chemistry, I'm talking about the brain of the gut. So anything that's going on up here, 100% is caused by what's going on down here. So I know the reason why I was acting like schizophrenic back then had to do with the condition of my gut from being raised on grains and dairy, and then that system not being able to deal with the extreme stress. So it's kind of like short circuit, like imagine a light bulb just like flickering on and off, maybe getting really bright, and that's when I was, manic or whatever, and then get it going dull, and then so anyway, I don't want Richard to feel bad and to think that I'm, you know, talking bad about him. I just believe that we should all be 100% transparent. You have people like, if you watch the show, I want to run for public office. You have people in public office who are on medication. They're actually on psychotropic meds, you know, like antipsychotic drugs. And would you want somebody in charge of your life who has to take antipsychotic drugs? I don't. I definitely don't. So I want to make sure that my medical records are unsealed and constipated. Yeah. No, that's true. Yeah, because the other thing, Al, is the constipation means that the things that they ate is in there for too long, and the breakdown product of those things like grains and flesh, those actually cause hallucinations and all types of brain conditions. So, yeah, I just want everything to be completely transparent. So that's why, I had to come out and tell you that I've been eating. I still haven't eaten any junk food. I've been on the Life Food Certified list since at least 2014. So that's 5 or 6 years now. But I want to talk about schizophrenia because if I tell you things that I'm thinking, a psychiatrist might say that's schizophrenia. Like, for example, I'm going to read a passage from the Bible, and I'm going to then relate that to my life. And I'm going to say, like, God is speaking to me through the Bible. Now, if I tell a psychiatrist that God is speaking to me, they'll probably call me schizophrenic. I was on Facebook the other day on a post of an ethical vegan, claiming that his recipe was the healthiest recipe, but it had bananas in it and peanuts. So I went on there and I started talking about that. And so people started coming at me because, people's food is their religion. And ethical vegans, they are militant about their food. They won't eat honey, but they'll eat the hell out of some bananas and not even think twice about it. But I'm not going to get into bananas right now. I just wanted to mention that because one of the people who commented asked me about martial arts. I had about 150 comments at me after that. So I started talking about it, and he said, "What kind do you do?" And I said, "I do everything, blah, blah, blah." I ended up mentioning Bruce Lee. I said, "Bruce Lee, my first teacher was Bruce Lee." And the guy said, "Oh, that's bullshit. How could Bruce Lee be your first teacher?" I said, "Well, he left a great message for us in his writings, in his movies, in his interviews. Anybody can be taught by Bruce Lee." He said, "No, that's bull crap." I said, "Oh, okay, I guess you can't be taught by Albert Einstein or Confucius or Jesus." Right? Anyway, what's up, Grape Gang? Sunday sermon today is I'm going to read a passage from the Bible that I just found out of nowhere. Some people might say that's synchronicity, kismet, destiny, coincidence, God, whatever you want to call it. But I just wanted to talk briefly about schizophrenia uh, because if I say as God made me get that message, somebody might say I'm schizophrenic. So okay, then I guess I am. I'm not harmful though. Never hurt anybody outside of a professional MMA setting. And do no harm is the first legal maxim. And what I say is no harm, no foul. So I'm going to read this passage from the Bible, and then I'm going to just touch on some MMA because it relates to this. And tomorrow night, I'm going to start with the 10 o'clock. And then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 10 p.m. I'm going to be on every night talking about health and martial arts. I'm going to get this show going like I've been planning to for years now. But the thing that was holding me back, I believe, was something called a biofilm, which is, it has to do with the plaque or the environment of the intestine. So that's basically my brain. And because I had to cleanse that, it was kind of gunked up and slow moving. And although my intention has always been pure, I just couldn't get the energy going until now, which I know what I have to do, which is completely dedicate myself to it, even beyond food. So at this point, food is going to be holding me back. Grape Gang says you have a deck of tarot cards and you randomly pull one or read a Bible verse randomly. All right. And then he also says intention. Even the 8-ball might be channeling God if you have the intent. Yeah, so that's called divining. That's true. They would throw the sticks up in the air or the stones and then read out or read the clouds. I think you're right. So this one just came to me, and it's a bit dark, I guess, but it really touched me. So let's see if I can get this. Okay. Lamentations. Okay. The voice of a suffering individual. I don't know if I'm gonna read the whole thing. Maybe I'll read the whole thing. What do you think? Should I skip to the part? I'm gonna read the whole thing just so you get the impact of it. Now look, before I get into this, I have to tell you, I'm from the suburbs. Okay, I live in a basement. I don't really have a lot of possessions, but compared to some people in real poverty, they would think I'm a rich man. I have running water, I have electricity, I have a bed, I have food if I need it, I have clothes, and I don't have to pay any bills except for the food and my internet and stuff like that. Um, so I don't know what it's like to be. I mean, I've been in jail before, so I know what that's like. But I don't know what it's like to be uh, homeless. Although I have lived in the gym before, I've slept in cars, I've slept outside. Um, I just, I don't want you to think that I'm like um, acting this up. I understand that I'm having first world problems. Okay, I just want you to know that. Um, but also, I do have to, uh, I do have to take things as they are. Like my situation is not good compared to what I want it to be. So there's two sides to that coin. One is it's not as bad. I'm not. It's not as bad as it could be, and then the other side is it's not as good as it could be either. All right. Third world. HN says third world. Um. Yeah. I mean, some people say we live on a plantation. Like debt slaves and stuff like that. I mean, we are wearing masks day to day, aren't we? But anyway, I'm gonna talk about this right. I'm gonna read this right now. It's called Lamentation. The voice of a suffering individual. Maybe if you have any suffering in your life, this can help you. What I'm gonna do today. So that's what I hope. I am one who has known affliction under the rod of God's anger. Okay, so I'll just pause when I feel like there's something that I could say. I think what this is saying is that I made mistakes and I got fucked. I made mistakes I'm not in a good position right now. One whom he has driven and forced to walk in darkness, not in light. Against me alone he turns his hand, again and again all day long. So if I don't have my what is it? Lion's mane mushroom, this is how I feel. Again and again all day long, just in the muck, depressed, no way out, darkness here. Everything is a grind. Instead of having a joy about working, it's just, oh, I gotta do this. But then if I have the caffeine, if I have the lion's mane, um, and the herbs that I take for working out, I can actually put a smile on my face while I'm fighting. He has worn away my flesh and my skin. He has broken my bones. Well, that's literal. That's happened to me. He has besieged me all around with poverty and hardship. He has left me to dwell in dark places like those long dead. Well, some people say that our name as citizens, in all caps, is representative of our bodies being unclaimed, and that the government owns that body. So this is interesting as a legal document. Um, we're born into this system where we're actually considered to be beasts, to be traded. He has hemmed me in with no escape, weighed me down with chains. Even when I cry for help, he stops my prayer. He has hemmed in my ways with fitted stones and made my paths crooked. Okay, so I think I'm going to say this part is about being born into the system where we're fed junk food, we're brainwashed with television, and even if you know that there's something wrong with the system, it doesn't seem like there's anything that you can do about it. And you get into bad habits with the junk food that has addictive chemicals in it, and the the idea of a cell phone causing dopamine addiction or something. He has been a bear lying in wait for me, a lion in hiding. He turned me aside and tore me apart, leaving me ravaged. He bent his bow and set me up as a target for his arrow. He pierced my kidneys with shafts from his quiver. Well, that actually could be about depression, anxiety, and kidney exhaustion, which happens from staying up too late. You know, we have the artificial light that keeps us up past when it goes dark. You know, that's when we're supposed to be sleeping. Not to mention the food that people eat that causes demineralization of the kidneys. I have become a laughing stock to all my people. Oh boy, I know about that. They are taunt all day long on Facebook and on their text messages. He has sated me with bitterness, filled me with wormwood. Yes, I am a hater. I hate on other people's success. People like the guy I hate right now is Machine Gun Kelly. He's a rapper who sold out. Now he's dating Megan Fox, and he's probably the biggest musician right now. He's the new Eminem, but now he's a rock star. But I wouldn't trade with him because I know he probably had to do some wicked shit to get there. I'm only gonna do it the right way. He has made me eat gravel, trampled me into the dust. My life is deprived of peace. I have forgotten what happiness is. My enduring hope, I said, has perished before the Lord. The thought of my wretched homelessness is wormwood and poison. That's depression, you know, it's like a loop. Depression as a physical, you know, some people have told me, oh, you know, why don't you talk about it? Talking about it doesn't get you out of depression. Depression is a low amplitude of electricity. If your brain is a light bulb and you can't get the light bulb lit up, talking about it is not going to get the light bulb lit up. It's an actual physical occurrence that you need to address with physicality. And that's exercise, that's chemicals like caffeine or nutritional supplements, or at least getting rid of the shit that causes low amplitude of electricity and replacing that with good stuff like on the Life Food Certified list. Yeah, so remembering it over and over. It's a loop. You have to get out of the loop, and you need a burst of energy to get into that frontal cortex, Brad, sorry. The frontal cortex, you can't have depression in the frontal cortex. That's actually the science that my teacher discovered when they mapped out brain function in the 80s, I believe. They used a SPECT, I believe it's called a SPECT, where they had people speaking about all different types of things, and they looked at the map of the brain with these electrodes. So the major thing that he discovered was that you can't be happy and sad at the same time, because if you are only in the back of the brain, this is where sadness is. You're thinking about the past, like like I just read here. You're thinking about the past. It's in the back of the brain. The future is in the front of the brain. That's the frontal cortex. That's things that you're interested in. That's things that you're looking forward to, things that you're planning. So you need electricity to get all the way. It goes from the back to the front. Okay, so as the brain developed, as we evolved as humans, right? We developed this. We're the only ones that have this because we can plan things. We're not just stimulus signal bound. You know, we're not just reacting by instinct. We can actually use logic and reason, plan things, design things. Okay, so you need extra energy. If you're depressed, you have to get that extra energy. So anything that puts your brain back here is the grains, the dairy, the junk food, or even if you right now switch 100% over to my Life Food Certified list, you still may have a situation of bacteria in the gut which has to be cleansed, and that's done through liver flushing. And I can guide you through that 24/7. My cell number is on my website. So if this is something that you want to take care of, I'll text you, call you, Zoom, Skype, FaceTime, whatever you want to do. Google Talk, I have Google Voice, Facebook, Instagram, you know. Because like Brad is saying here, doctors are useless because they don't have the insight that everything is connected to the brain of the gut. And if you mention breathing problems, that is for sure a sign of food allergies. And the major ones that cause congestion in the chest is dairy, okay, corn, wheat, egg, and that's it. Rice also is not as bad, but that will cause that if you have rice and soy. And none of those things are on my list, but if you're eating those things, bro, nothing that a doctor is gonna do is gonna help you, and anything that they do prescribe is gonna have side effects, you know. So this is a spiritual broadcast on Sunday and every day. I have a medicine name in the Native American tradition. It's called Red Owl. That's my medicine name. True healing is changing the behavior that got you sick. It's not just putting something on top. I'm not going to tell you to put something on top of a sick system. We have to fix that underlying cause, which is the behavior. And then once the behavior is fixed, you can actually go back in and heal the underlying condition, which, you know, is like an oil. It's like an oil change, basically. But you can't be putting crappy gas in a car and think it's gonna run right. But I want to help you, bro. Al, mucus free is one way to describe it. Although I like to say Life Food Certified because it's more specific. You actually have something that you can use. You can say Life Food Certified, and you can type that into Google, and you can get a plan of action. But if you just type in mucus free, I don't think that's going to get you where you need to go. But I get what you're saying. I just want to be specific. You have to have specificity. Here's my 3-step action plan. Hold on. Like I said in the beginning, I'm simple. I grew up on cartoons. This comes from neurolinguistic programming or whole brain functioning, depending on who you study under. My teacher called it whole brain functioning. But neurolinguistic programming, they'll call this framing. Got cut off there. Okay? So you have 3 steps. Positive energy, you can do this. A lot of people have done it before. Heal themselves. Specificity, that's where we're at now. You need a specific plan of action. Specific. And I got that. I got that for you. And then determination. All right, we're going to stick together. We're going to do this. The more you can stick to a plan, you'll build up momentum, and you'll build up a mental reserve in your body, which is equivalent to strength, electrical strength. That's why, I felt bad about, okay, Brad, take care to you also. I did feel bad about eating the past few weeks, but I knew that, overall I was going to make a comeback just because, that's the way things go. You go up, you go down, but you keep going forward. Anyway, let's get back to the reading here. Soul is downcast, okay? But this I will call to mind. But this I will call to mind. Therefore, I will hope. That's a native teaching, hope. The Lord's acts of mercy are not exhausted. Great Spirit has no beginning and no end. It's eternal. 0 point energy. His compassion is not spent. Some people call it love. It's a vacuum energy. A vacuum energy. It's producing and recycling at the same time. Taurus. T-O-R-U-S. They are renewed each morning. Great is your faithfulness. If I ever eat bad, or I don't eat bad, but if I ever eat too much, that's my one vice, I would say. If I ever eat too much, I'll wake up the next morning with another chance. You know, you need that sleep to renew yourself and you get things done in the morning before you start piling shit on. Like eating breakfast, the worst. The worst thing you could do is eat breakfast. That's just going to ruin your day. Push breakfast back. A lot of people do something called intermittent fasting. All right. Or fasted cardio or OMAD, 1 meal a day, or the snake diet. It has to do with energy being produced from nothing. If you could imagine the Big Bang, everything came from nothing. That's what they call it, the Big Bang. It actually happens on a daily basis. Everywhere, energy comes from the ether. And we can tap into that. But if you're putting junk on top of your system, you're not going to have as much capacity because your energy is going to be used for, digesting and doing other stuff. The Lord is my portion, I tell myself. Therefore I will hope in him. The Lord is good to those who trust in him, to the one that seeks him. So this is where inspiration comes from emptiness. It is good to hope in silence for the Lord's deliverance. It is good for a person when young to bear the yoke, to sit alone and in silence when its weight lies heavy, to put one's mouth in the dust. There may yet be hope. To offer one's cheek to be struck, to be filled with disgrace. Well, Bruce Lee said, don't hope for an easy life, hope for the strength to endure a difficult one. There's a guy I follow on Instagram called Wes Watson, and he says the struggle is the gift. He says the work is the gift, because that's what makes you. Not the result of having something external, but what you become on the other side, or what you're forged into during the process of battle. That is the prize. For the Lord does not reject forever. Though he brings grief, he takes pity according to the abundance of his mercy. He does not willingly afflict or bring grief to human beings. I see. Although he brings grief, he takes pity. Alright, so you're going to have good times, you're going to have bad times. Don't take it personally. No one's out to get you. Maybe they are. I don't know. It says God is not out to get you. Okay, God's not out to get you. Maybe some wicked people are. Alright, halfway there. That someone tramples underfoot all the prisoners in the land, or denies justice to anyone in the very sight of the Most High, or subverts a person's lawsuit. Does the Lord not see? I hope so. Jeez. Who speaks so that it comes to pass unless the Lord commands it? Is it not at the word of the Most High that both good and bad take place? What should the living complain about? Their sins. See, that's pretty powerful right there. Everything is God, right? the good, the bad, it all comes from God to make us what we're supposed to be. But if it's the one thing that you should get mad about is the one thing that I will get mad about, or I should get mad about, or you should get mad about, is that we aren't doing our best. That's the one thing that you should get mad about. They call it here sins. That's the one thing that we have control over is our response, right? Let us search and examine our ways and return to the Lord. Do some cleansing. Start eating better, do some cleansing. Let us lift up our hearts as well as our hands. Okay, we're talking about the physical here. We're talking about having good posture and exercising. Our hands toward God in heaven. We have rebelled and been obstinate. You have not forgiven us. Really? Okay, well, there's a price to pay, right? You wrapped yourself in wrath and pursued us, killing without pity. Well, that's true. It's a narrow gate we walk through in life. People die of heart disease. People die of cancer. Uh, Unfortunately, some kids, they get cancer and they didn't even know any better. It was maybe even their parents didn't know any better. No pity from God, huh? You wrapped yourself in the cloud, which no prayer could pierce. Yeah, that's true. You have made us filth and rubbish among the peoples. They have opened their mouths against us, all our enemies. Panic and the pit have been our lot. Desolation and destruction. Good Lord. It has to be for a reason. All right, here's where I found. This is the part where I found this passage. My eyes stream with tears over the destruction of the daughter of my people. Okay, so I was thinking about this today. When my son, he left, and even before that, when my mother fed him breakfast, which was eggs and hash browns and the pizza from last night. So it's not as noticeable as it used to be, because when I was the primary care provider when they were babies, like 3 and 5 years old, when they first started getting fed junk food, it was a switch. So it went from purity to, junk. The first one that I remember was fighting with the ex over pizza at a kid's party. And what happened after that was the hyper behavior. My two sons, which used to be able to get along, and now they fight. They scooch. So they tease, they hit. They hit me, and they tease, and they insult, and it's all antisocial behavior. And on some level, I've lost them. And I'll never get them back. And I'll never be able to hug my son again. I'll never be able to hug my 5-year-old child again the way that he loved me so innocently is gone forever. And maybe one day I'll be able to teach him how to do cleansing, and we can connect again as adults. And have a nice hug as father and son, as friends, as brothers, as two souls. Actually, I don't believe in individual souls. As two children, to share an innocent love, that I care for you so much. And when my son left today, when my son left today, I thought of that. Um, I thought of that loss of innocence. John says the book that you're reading is out of the Old Testament before the payment for all sins on the cross as described in the New Testament. The blood of the Lamb brings us into right relationship with Father if we acknowledge that payment and make him Lord of our life. Yeah, I do have hope, John. I do have hope, but what I'm talking about is not in a book. It's written on my heart that's broken, and it's a scar. And I do believe in redemption, and I believe in forgiveness, and I believe that anyone can be healed. But I think there's a positive message here. The daughters of my city, that's innocence. Without cause, here we go. Without cause, my enemies snared me as though I were a bird. This is the Illuminati. People like Bill Gates, Andrew Cuomo here in New York, the Rothschild banking system. For no reason, they trapped me in this system. And I can't fly away. They tried to end my life in the pit. Tried to enslave me in a 9-to-5. Wait, where's the... oh, that's the wrong side. This is this side here. Pelting me with stones. And that's disease from the food. The waters flowed over my head. And I said, I am lost. I have called upon your name, O Lord, from the bottom of the pit. You heard me call. Do not let your ear be deaf to my cry for help. You drew near on the day I called you. You said, do not fear. You pleaded my case, Lord. You redeemed my life. I'm a true believer, John. Don't worry about it. You see, Lord, how I am wronged. Do me justice. I'm worthy. I promise you. You see all their vindictiveness, all their plots against me. Look at people like Andrew Cuomo, who just published a book, and he's making money about what he did to New Yorkers here with the fake pandemic. Look at Dana White putting kids to kill each other in an octagon and getting paid for that. And all the people who are invested in that company. When all the research that has come out about traumatic brain injury from football, people are still making money on that stuff. You hear their reproach, Lord, all their plots against me. And when I say me here, I'm talking about innocent people. The whispered murmurings of my adversaries against me all day long. They said I'm crazy because I was against head contact, and I am against head contact. I still have people on Facebook that are making comments about it, and people who text me that I'm going nowhere in life, and stuff like that. Look, whether they sit or stand, I am the butt of their taunt. Yeah, I got a text this morning about it, calling me a bum. Give them what they deserve, Lord, according to their deeds. Give them hardness of heart. Your curse be upon them. Pursue them in wrath and destroy them from under the Lord's heaven. All right, well, about that, I'm just gonna relate that to commerce. And I'm going to say that ribbit. I am the Lord's wrath in business. And I am going to destroy, and when I say destroy, I mean replace Ultimate Fighting the way that it is now. I'm going to take over MMA. It's always been my mission since 2014, and I am renewed. I ate the last month. I got depressed from having too much food, and now's the comeback. What's up, Rick? One more thing I'm going to show you. It's from a fight that was on last night. Uh...
is proud of me and happy, and I hope everybody back home. I just hope the UFC is proud of me and happy, and I hope everybody back home. I love all you guys. This was for my dad. This was for my family. This was for you guys. You know, I lost my passion for this sport pretty bad, and to all my Philly friends and family and teammates back home, I love you guys. I miss you guys. I can tell you I'm not done. I might lose my ranking a little bit, but what I've learned in this sport is none of that matters. What matters is going out there, showing up, showing who you are inside, what determination you have. And for the guys that missed weight and couldn't make it here tonight, get your stuff together, hire a nutritionist, get on the scale, make weight, and go perform. I was dying on Thursday night to get on that scale at 156 pounds, and I did it. And I showed up tonight for 25 minutes with no training, just training for a triathlon. So get your stuff together. Go. I just hope the UFC is proud of me and happy.
So Paul Felder got his butt whooped last night. His teeth, his cuts, but he says he's not done. And I'm not done. Paul Felder, I'm calling it right now. I'm going to fight Paul Felder in my league, though. Okay, let's see. John 3:16. Psalm 37:12. The wicked plot against the righteous and gnash their teeth at them. But the Lord laughs at the wicked, for he knows their day is coming. The wicked draw the sword and bend the bow to bring down the poor and needy, to slay those whose ways are upright. But their swords will pierce their own hearts, and their bows will be broken. Amen, brother. Thank you for being a part of my stream today. I am going to be back on tomorrow night at 10 p.m. I'll be on for an hour, and I'll be talking about some health-related news. And because I'm fasting, I won't be cooking, but maybe I'll share recipes. But anything that you guys, think that you want me to talk about, feel free to message me on any of my contact information. I have somebody who send me links via text. That number is on my website. Just click on where it says about, and then that's got everything there. My mailing address, my phone number, my email, my social media, and all that. Okay? So hey Londos, I hope you all have a nice rest of the night. I'm going to clean the gym, then I'm going to work out, and I'm working on I'm trying to figure out how to do another event, guys. If you have any suggestions, I don't know that I'm going to be able to do that at my gym, because the guy is no offense if you are, but he's a Democrat. And he's got kids wearing masks. He says, "Oh well, the health inspector might come in, and I don't want them to shut us down." The health inspector's not coming in, and he's got a stick up his butt. So I don't know if he's gonna let me do an event there. I'll definitely find out, but the next thing I'm gonna do is go to other gyms to teach and to spar and to put together a list of people that will be able to participate in my next event. So if you know anybody in the tri-state area that does MMA and you think they might want to connect in with me, like I said, send me a message. And that's all I can think of for now. So, Master Lukey, over and out.